Okay, good morning. I'm finna make this quick video and I'm gonna walk through the step-by-step process as to how I research a property and come up to discover if the property is a deal or not. I'm finna walk through the whole step-by-step formula for you in this video. Let me spin my camera around. We're gonna jump on the screen and I'm gonna show you step-by-step how I do it. Okay, so you see me on my Google Doc. I always have like a little Google Doc because I copy and paste and I like to drag everything over to the page that I'm on. Okay, so for one, I come over here to prop wire, right? So let's go back to your subject listing property to show you. So as you see on my screen, this is the subject listing property. This is the address over here. The estimated value is over here. It's in Warner Robins, Georgia, 32. It's approximately 1,400 square feet. 1,400 square feet. And as you see, if I spin my camera over here a little bit, is that let me try to adjust it a little bit better. You also see it's 100% free and clear. That means it's no title or no mortgage on this property, right? So what I like to generally do is come over here and I'm gonna copy this image. Once I copy the image, I come over here to my Google Doc and I drop the Google Doc here. So at least that way I could see the subject property that I'm dealing with. So I have a clear image of the property that I'm dealing with. From just looking at this picture, I haven't walked the property, but just generally looking at this picture, I would say it's going to be either a light to medium rehab. Like I said again, I haven't physically walked the property, but just looking at the overview of the picture lets you know that, hey, maybe a few trees got to get cut back, so that's some landscaping needed done. From the pictures that we see on the screen, the roof looks pretty fair. The outside looks pretty upkept. You know, whoever lived in this house, they kind of kept up with it for the most part. However, in the inside, it might be a little bit outdated. So you might want to boof up the kitchen, bathroom appliances, and make it a little bit more modernized. But other than that, it looks like it's a general in and out remodel. So we'll go with a medium rehab on this property. But let me back down in what I say about light or medium, so you can understand why I keep throwing that phrase out there. First and foremost, anytime you're looking at a property as an investor, the first thing you want to look at is what your rehab costs would be. How much would it take for you to rehab this property? So on a quick numbers, just off the top of my brain, you want to calculate anywhere from $20 to $30 based on the square foot of the subject property. So like I say, this property is 1,400 square feet. So if this property is 1,400 square feet, you would do 1,400 times $25, and that would give you your overall budget if it was a light rehab. If it's a medium rehab, you want to go with anywhere between $30 to about $40 based on the square feet and this economy that we're living in at the moment. So you will go with 1,400 square feet times $40. That would give you your rehab budget. If it was a medium rehab, you would go with $50 to $60, preferably 55. So you'll go with $55 times the 1,400 square feet, and that would give you your overall rehab budget if it was a heavy rehab. But let's get back into it. So I come back over here. I got my image here now, right? And then after I got my image, I'm just going to copy and paste all of this information up top. Once I copy and paste all of the information up top, right? I don't want all that. I just want that's in blue. Once I copy and paste this, I bring that over into my drive as well. I bring that drop it down there. Let's bring these numbers down. Okay, I gotta edit some things out right quick, make it a little bit more visible for you. Right? Then we're gonna come over here, make that white. That way you can see it clearly. You see what I'm saying? Now you see all the information. Let me make this a little bit more visible because I remember I am recording. I want to make sure you guys could see on my screen what it is that I'm putting down here. So you see, I just basically put all the information that we'll need for the property over here. Once I drop my information that I need for the property, right, I come back over here, get this blue out. Now, let me go over this part with you though. If it was a mortgage on this property, it would show here in this section right here if it was a mortgage. If you drop down, you get more information regarding, like I say, if they had a mortgage on the property, you get all of the square feet, you get the parcel number. For those of you that don't know what a parcel number is, that's like the lot number when you go down to the city in the courthouse and you dealing with a property. It'll be more easy for you to for them to pull up the property by the parcel number. In this case with PropWire, this APN and this number that slides over here, that will be your parcel number. So that will be the number that you mostly need when you're trying to purchase the property and you dealing with the city officials. If you're dealing with like the titling company where they want to make sure that you have a clear and clean title, you would use that number as well as the address. But this number helps them to pull up the property a lot more easier. Okay, but as you see, in this case, I already know the owner's information, but for sake of this video, I'm going to show you. So this is the owner. You see at the top right here, right across from property, you have another little drop down that says owner. Well, when you drop this down, as you see right over here to my right, I have the owner's name already geographically there. So if you come down right here and you hit this little orange button, it's called Skip Trace. Skip Trace with PropWire will charge you 10 cents to pull up the owner's information. And I'm going to show that with you for the sakes of this video. So you see right here, once you click that tab, right here, it only charged me 10 cents. I have $18.20 in my wallet. It charged me 10 cents to skip trace this property. That means pull up all of the owner's information. So if you see right here to my right, now I have all 4 phone numbers that the homeowner has listed on the property. If the homeowner had an email address listed, it will also show up right here. However, this homeowner does not have a physical email address that he has listed for this property, so we don't actually have his email address listed, but we have his phone number if we wanted to get in contact with him. But we're not doing that for the sake of this video, so we'll move right on over to the next tab up top where it says comps. So once you hit comps, if you look over here to my right, I already got my filters because I do it so much. My filters is already set. I'm looking for properties that were sold within the last year in a half a mile radius from my subject property. Okay, so the reason that I'm saying only a half a mile radius, now I can expand it up to a mile. However, you always want to start because you see I already got some pretty good comps in this geographical area. As you see right here where this little bubble is at, this little green dot, not the lake over here now, but this little green dot. So this is my subject property. Okay, now anytime you researching a property as far as running the comps to see how much homes in that geographical area is being sold for, what you would do is stay within this half a mile radius, meaning you don't want to go outside of you don't want to cross over any major highways or roads. You want to stay within your geographical area because you want to see what's going on in the geographical area that your subject property is. And you never want to cross over, like I say again, any major highways or roads. You want to stay in your geographical area. But what I love so much about PropWire, you see it automatically giving my subject property is here, right? So now that you see our subject property is here, pay very close attention to the square footage. Anytime you looking up a property and you running the comps, you do not, repeat, you do not want to go over 500 feet from your subject property, and you don't want to go under 500 square feet from your subject listing property. So for give you a real life example, if you was looking at a property and the property was 1,000 square feet, you don't want to run the comps to see what a property sold for if that property sold for over 1,600 and under 900. So remember, 500 is your gap. So you, if the property is 1,000 square feet, you could go up to 1,500. You don't want to go to 16. You want to go up to 15. But if there are no others and you have one that says 16, you know you'll have to kind of generally go with that. But the goal is you never want to go over 500 feet over the subject property, and you don't want to go under 500 feet. So with that same property, like I said again, if it's 1,000 square feet, you don't want to go down to 500 square feet. Not saying that any house will be that amount of square feet, but I'm just giving it to you that way so you could clearly understand what I'm trying to get you to understand. So, like I said again, I done already played with it once before I started recording it, so I kind of know the numbers that I'm looking for. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to show you how I found what I'm looking for. So, it's already your subject property is here, right? You know about all the information. You got a 3-2 bedroom. The bedrooms is not so much the critical point. That's why the square footage is the critical point. So now that you have your square footage in the front of your face, you scroll down this list, and as you see, these are all of the properties that has been sold in that geographical area. This is the address. This is what date they was sold. This is the amount that the properties were sold for. This is the price based on the square footage that the properties were sold for. This is the square footage over overall living space. This is the lot space. You will always get what year the property was built and the distance from your subject property. Okay? So, in this example, we're going to scroll down because I always like to scroll down to the bottom. That's just a me thing. I like to scroll down to the bottom. And once I get to the bottom, right? Once I get to the bottom is when I look at the numbers. Let me scroll this side down so you guys can see the bottom of my screen as well as me. So if you could see it, my very first listing, you might can't see it. Let me adjust you a little bit. There you go. So you can see my very first listing right here is for 172. That's not what I'm looking for. So we just scrolling through and we looking at the prices, and you're gonna scroll with me. Like I say, I know which ones I'm generally looking for based on price, right? So I know, you know, I was looking for this 222 right here. We got this 222. As you see, the 222 is within our square footage of our subject property. You see that? Once you see that, you come over here and you're going to click this little button. When you click this button, you see how at the bottom it automatically starts calculating your comps for you? That's the beautiful thing about why I love this platform. So you don't even have to run. Now, let me stop right there before I say move on. That's what makes this platform so unique. However, if you was to use a different server like Zillow or whatever may have you, yes, Zillow would give you the comps in a geographical area. However, you would have to literally write down the price of what each and every one of them sold for, or use your calculator to literally calculate up. And how you will fully do it is you would calculate up 3 to 5 properties that sold in your geographical area. Once you calculate up the 3 properties that sold in your geographical area, you would times it by 3 if you're going with 3 properties, as well as you would times it by 5 if you was to be running the comps on 5 different properties. Once you do the multiplication on 5 after you did the calculation, that would give you a number. That number is what what it's saying is the number that you have, that is what will be an accurate number to say that properties in that area based on the number of square feet is selling for. Once you calculate all 3 of them numbers, that's how you get, either you could call it the comps or you could call it your ARV, your after repair value. Okay? So as I move on to find my other listings, so we got that 222, right? And the reason why you're looking for the properties that sold for the most amount of money while you're looking is because sometimes if you see, like for an example, this property sold for $72 per square feet and this property sold for $108 per square feet, right? What that geographical tells you is this home was more updated than that home was. That's all that means. You see, it ain't nothing but $100, 100 square feet difference. So that's not big when it comes to comps. That means it's running in the same ballpark neck to neck. What makes the difference is the upkeeps of the property, and that's what make the appraisal value change depending on the property that you're looking at. Okay, we're going to take this 190, and it was a 300. I know it was somewhere on my list. Okay, that 395. So I already know it's the square footage because, like I said before I got on here and started recording the video, I already kind of played around with it. Then I say, you know what, let me record this for informational and purposes. So now you see homes in this area could sell for $395,000. Just say 400,000, and homes is getting sold in this geographic area for over 200,000. So you know they're going from between the 2s and the 4s, depending on the upkeep and the square footage of the property. In this case, you see my subject property, my comps in this area is 277, right? So I'm going to copy and paste this 277, right? I'm going to copy and paste this. And I'm going to bring this over here, right? Just ride with me. Just ride with me. We're going to bring this over here right up under the same property. Remember, this is the subject property information. That's the picture of the property that we're working with, right? So I'm going to bring this over, and I'm going to just drop this right here. And let me lighten this up for you. Now you can see it, right? Boom. Then I'm going to put right here ARV. That's my after repair value, right? Boom. You can see that, right? Boom. Now we're going to come back. What I like to do is I like to have my square footage of the property in my face. I love to have the square footage of the property in my face at all times. I'm going to show you why I do that later. Okay, so SQ.FT, right? And then I come hit that. And boom. Why everything keep coming up gray? Don't know why. Okay, so boom. You see the square footage, right? Now I have that. I got my ARV, right? So it's going to be real simple. You take this ARV and you say times 72 percent. Okay. Oh man, I ain't got my calculator. Okay. Just be patient with me. I'm whipping out one of my. Gotta get my calculator. I get the old trusted calculator. Let me find him. Where's my calculator? Okay. Oh man, I gotta take it off of this. What's going on here? The actual calculator, this thing popped up something different. Okay, so remember, we got the 277, 983 times 72% equals 200,147. You see that? Now, I know you're going to ask me, hey, Sharm, what this 72% is? What the 72% is the investor's cut. Because when you coming in, you got money that you have to purchase, whether it's a loan or whether it's hard money cash or whether it's credit. However you get it, this property will, generally sell for the 277, but just for you to take on the deal, you want at least 70 to 72% of the net profits, okay, of taking on this acquisition. So after you did your 72%, it gave you the 200,000, okay? Now, you have, let's bring it down here. Let's bring this down here. You have rehab, right? You got rehab. You got a rehab cost, right? Remember, you fixing it. So, how do you come up with your rehab cost? Well, that's why I dropped the square footage right here. Remember when I kept saying that square footage? I'm going to show it to you. So this property is 1383 square feet. You're going to times that by medium rehab budget of $35, right? And that give you 48,405, right? So that means to fix up that property in the condition that it is, it's going to cost you approximately $48,005 to fix up that property with a medium rehab budget, okay? And the medium rehab budget, like I say again, that allows you to come in, you want to paint the place, you want to change up the kitchen, decorations of the bathroom, spruce it up, because like we say, the property still looked very upkept. However, even with the upkeeps of the property, it's still going to be some costs that you have to factor in, with that. So if you just go with the, $25, anywhere from $20 to $30, but I like to go in the middle with $25 times your square foot will give you your rehab costs for a light rehab. If it's a medium rehab, you could go anywhere from $30 to $40. So we go with 35. If it's a heavy rehab, you could go with about $55 to $60 per square feet, and that would give you your rehab budget. Okay, and I'm gonna just put so that way we know it's a medium, right? We know it's a medium rehab budget. Okay, so now what you're going to do is come back up here and you're going to minus that 48. That 48,405. You're going to minus that 48,000 from this 200,000. Okay? Let me get my calculator. So 2,147 minus 48,405 gives me 151,742. 151,742. Okay? Now, that's what that gives you now. Okay? Minus your rehab budget. You with me? So now that you got your rehab budget, you got your ARV. What will be your next step? You have fees that's going to be associated with that loan. Like I say, depending on how you're getting your money, you're going to always have some fees that's associated with it. Whether it was a hard money loan, whether you went out and found an investor that gave you some money, you got some credit, you know, it's going to still accumulate some interest and fees. So in this area, based on the loan amount and everything like that, you would say that your closing costs and interest and fees on the loan is going to be about $10,000, right? So it's going to be about 10,000. So you would minus that 10,000 equals 141,742. You follow me now? Now that you got that, that's your interest and fees. Now you have offer amount. Now you got your offer amount. So that is the most amount of money. Your offer amount is the most amount of money that you could offer on this property. Not saying that you will offer that for the property, but that is the most amount of money that you could offer for this property. Okay. Let's drop down one more thing. So you want to ask me, what's your ROI? What's my return on the investment? Okay. What's my return on the investment? So to figure out your return on the investment, you're going to come back up to this 277, 983, right? And you're going to minus that 277, 983 by 200, 147. That give you $77,836. That's what that gives you. on the return on the investment. So if you was to acquire this property for the price that you could get the seller to sell it to you, it would cost you approximately $48,000 with a medium rehab budget to come in and overtake the rehab at a medium rehab budget. And once you got your rehab budget, you take out your interest and fees on the loan. That's what's going to give you your offer amount. So you want to start lower and work your way to that number. You understand what I'm saying? You got your interest and fees, you got your rehab costs, you got your $77,000 that when you overtook the loan with this 72%, you took your money at the gate and you broke it down from the overall number of the after repair value. So you know that this is the number that you're looking for selling. Not saying that you can't get higher, but this is the number that you ultimately gonna touch. You understand? And just touching that number, you're gonna touch this number. It's really just that simple. If you need the forms, offer amount, into the transaction, the purchase and sale agreement, please get a hold of me. I do have all of the forms that you would need moving in the future. I definitely appreciate you for watching this video today. And this is a quick overview on how you could run the numbers on a property to find if it's a deal or not. Thanks again. Peace until the next one.